is up, good people? What is up, good people? It is Mental Health Wednesday, and oh my God, it couldn't be fit in the title. Today has just been one calamity after another. The stress just builds up, cancellations, missed appointments, missed times. Anyway, today we're joined by the lovely TikTok's Rebecca. How are you today, my dear?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
You are a superstar today. You've come in at last minute's notice, and you've come to save the day. And yeah, how was your day today?
It's been all right. It's been all right.
Okay, fantastic.
You
All right.
put stress on me, didn't you?
Do you know what? I've just put myself under so much stress today as well. Also, like, you know, just I did have 8 lovely guests ready for you guys to come in, and then, you know, cancellations, life being what it is, things pop up, and we have to work with it. And that's quite fitting for mental health for Mental Health Wednesday. You know, sometimes you have to, you know, just adapt to situations and not let it crush you. Because I think, like, before, if this happened to me maybe a year ago, I would have probably just cancelled the show and just said, fuck it, I'm not going to do it, you know, because obviously the letdown. But obviously I've learned, you know, you have to soldier on. So that's quite fitting, I think, for today. Awusa.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're going to jump straight into it. Mental Health Wednesday, guys. If you've got any questions in chat, just throw them at us, and we will try our best to sort of give a perspective on it. And the whole point today is not to tell anyone they're right or no one they're wrong. It's just to have an open debate, open discussion, and just talk about mental health. And I'll start with you, Rebecca. Come on now. Let's be professional here. Let's be professional.
Come on, let's go.
Okay.
You know why I'm laughing though.
Why are you laughing?
Let's go. Fire away.
Okay, cool. Have you ever suffered with your mental health, and how did you deal with it?
I suffer with it every day.
Okay. Can we?
I've no choice of my own.
Okay.
Because obviously the accident, as you well know,
the
chemical. Go on.
I was going to say, do you want to just do a brief sort of like a short story, just to sort of explain that to the guests and stuff?
Well, I got run over, didn't I? When I was 11, I had 3 fractures to my skull, 2 bleeds to my brain. I've been diagnosed with borderline split personality, manic depression. And because of the chemical imbalance in my brain, one minute I could be up here, the next I could be down here. And when I'm down here, the suicidal thoughts start. Wow. Now, I know how to control that now. And it's just, you see, touch your
take your time, take your time, just relax, you know, take your time, and, you know, just when don't feel that you have to do too much either, you know, just take your time. Take your time and relax.
I've lost family members through suicide. So I know, and if anyone's watching this, I don't mean to be so straightforward, but I know when you are turning around, because I've done it myself, I'ma kill myself. I'ma do this, I'ma do that. It's a cry for help. If you are going to go do it, you're going to go do it and not say nothing. And I've witnessed that myself. I've lost my uncle and I've lost my cousin, 2 of my cousins. And we never knew. It just happened. But with me, I was saying, I don't want to be here no more. I'ma do this and I'ma do that. But it was really me fighting with my mental battles, struggling, wanting help to get out of it.
Okay, that was a bit. I can see that meant a lot, getting off your chest. How would you say you built the strength up to sort of deal with it? You know, because a lot of people that obviously suffer with their mental health and stuff, you know, obviously chemical imbalances and everything, but, you know, it's like they're not able to see the light at the end of the tunnel ultimately. And, like, you know, because it's very easy to stay in that mindset, you know, where you're down and in the dumps. Everyone's been there. I've been there sort of myself. Even you were kind enough to open up about your story. I'll open up on my story. When I was going through bankruptcy with my companies and stuff like that, the financial stress on that put me in a place where, oh my God, no one ever wants to be. It was a horrible situation. I'd been stitched up by so many people, and literally it felt like the walls were caving in on me. And I think if it wasn't for my strength, my sort of spirituality and my strength and my faith and stuff like that, I don't know what would have happened, you know. And I'm quite a strong person, but that will literally beat you down, you know. Honestly, there's nothing worse than it. Obviously, as a man, and a lot of men don't have a lot. Well, I won't just jump over, but you know, it will really beat you down. And you know, I was in a horrible situation. You know, when finances come, you've got responsibilities, you've got a family to provide for, and you know, myself personally, it was really, really tough. But the one thing that kept me going was my spirituality and my faith that things would get better. I could almost say to myself, right, it's really shit now. It's a horrible situation I'm in, but in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 4 months, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. That was the only thing that kept me going, you know. Things are going to get better. And the more I sort of believed in myself, and the more I sort of believed in the vision, sort of manifesting a better situation for myself, a better mindset for myself, things started to actually get a lot better, you know. So, yeah, that's quite a lot. We saw.
I get where you're saying in that aspect, because I'm a go 2 years ago now. And I speak openly about my story and everything like that, you know. 2 years ago now, you know, there's nothing to me as it is. I wish I could upload pictures, because I was stick thin. You could see my jawline. I lost so much weight. I stopped eating, and I had a nervous breakdown because of the amount of stress on me. I had a nervous breakdown. I could not handle it. And if it wasn't for my mother driving from where she lived an hour on the phone to me, I can guarantee now, hand on my heart, I wouldn't have been here, because nothing was stopping me that day. Because and I kept trying to, like you were saying, manifest, you know, it's going to be all right. This has sold. This is going to pull through. But I didn't quite believe it in myself. I couldn't handle it no more. Everything, I just couldn't handle it. But now, because I have reached the lowest of the low, I am still trying to build myself up slowly but surely. But because I've experienced that, now I'm like, you know what? If I'm in control of it and I can change it, then I am gonna. But if it's out of my hands and I can't control it, what's meant to be is meant to be. You know, I understand people are struggling with bills, financial stuff, but the thing is, right, with your gas and your electric and stuff like that, and I'm going to be straight to the point, what are they going to do? They are not going to leave you without gas and electric if you don't pay your bill. You may have to pay it back, you know, long term. What you can control right now is your mental state and yourself. So that is the best way to look at it and to move forward. Do you get what am I making sense?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah. It's just, I think it's just a tough one. Like you mentioned finances. Finances are such a big one at the minute. I'm not going to say women aren't affected, but I'm saying at the minute, the suicide rate for men is absolutely crazy, you know. And I wasn't aware in Northern Ireland, the situation, the suicide. Apparently there's a bridge there where it's just where the police are just literally collecting bodies. I spoke to a few people, and literally they said in Northern Ireland, it's shocking because there's so much suicide there. And like, I think with Irish people, they're very sort of old school, very tough, like man.
You took the words out of my mouth. You see, a man is portrayed to be the masculine one. The man is portrayed to carry the family, you know, to look after the family, to provide for the family, you know. And in my eyes, you know, I've got to watch what I'm saying. I how I can't word it any different. I seen men as that until I grew up and I realized for my own mindset, no, men feel as much as women feel. Yes, they are masculine. Yes, they should look after the family, but women needs to take time out and to think about the man also, because that man has feelings too.
Mhm.
That man isn't cold. He hasn't got a heart. He has got a heart. He does feel.
Mhm.
And, we're in, is it 2023? We're in is it 22 or 23?
We're in 23, I believe.
Yeah,
At
it's
present.
2023. I'm so tired, Quincy. Sorry.
No
I've
worries,
just
no worries.
finished college. I'm knackered.
No worries.
But
I pulled you in, so don't worry about it. No worries. We'll have.
yeah, like, we're
Yeah.
not in 1970s. Come on now.
Hmm.
A man should support a woman just as much as a woman should support the man.
Hmm.
We all go through difficulties,
Hmm.
and people need to realize that these days.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, in terms of men and women, what you're saying sounds beautiful. It sounds beautiful. Women should be there, should be the backbone for men. If a man's going through it, a woman should be there his wife should be there to be like, come on, babe, don't worry, everything's.
Well, 80% of the women ain't. And hate me all you want, women, but I'ma be real.
Hmm.
I am a strong, independent woman because I've had no choice whatsoever but to stand on my own 2 feet and crack on with it, because I've got no man to fall back on. All right. Some of you women need to do that instead of relying on the man to bring the bread home and to do this and to do that, and you sit on your ass and live a life of luxury. No, it works both ways. And I'm sorry, but it does.
Yeah. I think what I was going to say most likely is that, some women, like, their man can be going through it, but their man that they've been with for so long doesn't feel confident to come to his wife and say, you know what, babe, I'm really struggling at the minute.
Well, that
Like,
man's in the wrong relationship then.
but no, but this is a norm. This is a norm. Men just generally don't feel that they can talk to women. Generally, just don't feel that they can talk to women, especially their wife or their girlfriend, and say, you know what, I'm really worried about. I'm really worried about how I'm going to keep the lights on.
Sorry, I don't agree on it.
Really?
I've got a handful of male friends who all come and openly talk to me because I will not judge them.
Hmm.
I've had males cry on the phone to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't judge. I'm not the one to judge, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. But you've got to understand, you have to make a man feel comfortable enough to open up to you on that level. And if he doesn't feel comfortable as your husband to open up on that level, you're in the wrong relationship. I'm sorry.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. But I just don't think, like, that we all know what's portrayed, how a man is portrayed. That's just the reality. Men are portrayed
Why
to
do
be
you
strong.
get with a woman then? Why do you get with a woman? What, for her to be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and wiping the floors? No. You get with a woman to support.
Yeah.
You're gonna get into an argument.
No. You're looking. I'm not actually. All I'm saying, maybe I'm not making my point clear enough. All I'm saying is that men, from a man's perspective, men don't feel that they can turn. Most men don't feel that they can turn to their wife and say to them, no, but let me get there, woman. Jeez, you just jumped me straight away. So men don't feel that men in general just don't feel like they can talk to their partners and say to them, you know what, I'm struggling. I don't know how I'm going to keep these lights on. These energy prices drive me crazy. I might even why do you think it is when men lose their job? Some men lose their job and they don't even tell their wives. They don't even tell them. They go out walking the streets, and this is a reality.
Is it a shame thing or an embarrassment?
Of course, Of course it is, because men are portrayed to be strong providers. You have to be a provider. You have to be this. You have to be that. There's so much pressure on men at the minute to sort of. I'm not saying there's not pressure on women. Don't jump on me. There's loads of pressure on women as well.
No, I'm not jumping on you.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look from the chat. They can't because they wouldn't understand how they would feel. That's what someone in chat said. They said that men don't do it because women don't understand how they feel.
A man's got a man's brain, a woman's got a woman's brain, but we both bleed the same, and you know, our emotions are very similar.
Yeah, our emotions are similar and stuff, but I think it's just like respectively, a woman would be respected for sort of being at home, looking after the wife, looking after the children, looking after the house. That's a universal respected role for a woman. I know you don't like it. Just give me a second. I know you don't like it because you're a very independent woman, but that's a very different subject. But most women are doing their role, like I don't know, most women are doing them sort of things, you know, looking after the house, locking it down, and the husband goes out and work, is the provider. That's how it's been for you know, that's how it's been since the dawn of day, you know. So men have been providers, women been in the house cooking and cleaning and, you know, seasoning up the chicken. you know, Rebecca
That's
doesn't like
what
that.
I think of that.
You're the independent woman though, so you're the independent sort of like boss
Don't
woman.
get me wrong, I would listen. A lot of people see me as, oh, she's anti-men, this and that, you know, and I do openly say I don't need a man for nothing, but that is because I have been so used to having to stand on my own 2 feet and having no one to rely on.
Yeah, I hear you.
Having to deal with everything on my own,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so don't get it wrong, you know, I would love a man to balance that out with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hard work. I'm a tough cookie to crack now. So
yeah, it's
you
a tough
know,
one. It is. I remember we done an interview before, myself and you, and we were talking about relationships, and you had some very unique sort of requirements for a man. Like I remember one of the things you said was that a man, you've got your houses. A man, if he wants to date me, if he wants me to take him seriously, he's got to have his own house as well. And you know, I remember that.
don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I turned around and I said a man would not be living with me, moving in with me.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is, and like I stated, and people are going to jump to it, if, and I'm not saying, yeah, it will, I'm saying if it did break up, right? I would want that man to have something to fall back on, because every relationship I have been in, yeah, the man's moved in with me or he's done whatever and he's ended up with nothing. I am not thinking about myself there. I am thinking about the man and his feelings and the situation that he possibly could end up in. He might not end up in it. We might end up living together and living happily ever after in our rocking chairs, talking to each other while we're knitting.
Mm-hmm.
But in case, and you're missing out the fact that that's also an investment. So not only are you looking out for the man and trying to build a man up, yeah, you're also investing to where then you can build together and progress together and build your empire up there for thinking, down there for dancing. That's what people don't think.
Yeah, I do. When I remember when you said that, and I sort of like you're entitled to your like I said. The way I work. I'm not gonna ever try and tell someone what they want is wrong or whatever. But what I would say is that it's like when you get together with someone, when a man gets together with a woman or whatever, or a woman or a man or a man and a man, whatever, you know, this day and age, you've got to say everything. But you know, when we get together, we're thinking, okay, it's gonna work. This is going to work but I think when you have a mindset of I'm going to get in a relationship, and if it works, if it works great, and if it doesn't work, then you know you need to have a backup plan. That sounds quite harsh.
I get into a relationship, well, I can't even say this because I haven't been in a long-term relationship for God, over 10 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I've dated men, and my intention when I start talking to a man and, you know, we're getting to know each other and things like that, My intentions aren't, oh yeah, we're chatting to each other, you know, oh, let's see how it goes. My intentions aren't that. I'm already analysing the situation. So if I take a back step and go quiet, that is because I've not liked certain things, or you aren't going to bring to the table what I can't bring to the table myself, you know, or you're showing me red flags, so I've backed off there. I'm not interested. If I'm talking to someone, though, I'm looking at long term. I'm looking at, because I am old school at heart, I'm looking at marriage, you know. Can me and you balance? Because it's a balance scale with me. Can me and you balance? Can me and you have that communication of friendship, you know, where we can talk about anything and everything? Can we be there for each other through everything, through thick and thin? I'm not talking materialistic things, because materialistic things we can't take to the ground with us. I'm talking, do we vibe on an inner level? Not jump into bed with each other and see if there's sparks there, because that's irrelevant to me. You know, do we vibe? Do we spark? You know, do we get along? Do you get what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Definitely. It just sounds like there's, like, I don't know. It just sounds like it maybe I don't know. Like
Say it how it is.
the demands. Maybe the demands are, you know, they could scare a lot of men off. Like women, like men, full stop, are intimidated by women that have their shit together. If you're a good-looking woman and you've got your shit together, finances, and you don't require a man, some men will literally be so intimidated by that. And
Not my business.
so I know. But the moment you say to them, "Boy, we're gonna move in," you know, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, but you need to have a backup
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because it sounds like when you say it to me, it sounds like you're gonna say that
No,
to them.
no.
Okay,
You're
cool.
asking me a question, so I'm answering it, yeah. But if I were talking to someone, I wouldn't say that, because you've got to show me you're worth that, and that's the same as me. I've got to show that I'm worth being your woman, and I'm not saying, you know, like I said, I can't even say the word.
Don't say it. I hate when people do this, because I try and do it and then it does exactly the same thing to me. So
like,
don't
we've
just.
got to
It'll
see
come.
if we're vibing on a level first. We've got to get to know each other, and I'm not saying looks. We got to know each other on a spiritual level, on an inner level, like. And I know it's going to sound stupid, but I bet some people can't sit down with a man at the side of them after 4 years of being with him and knowing what the favourite colour is. Or, you know, what's the favourite car, or what do you get what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but I think men, we're very simple creatures. We're very simple creatures, you know.
A woman spreads her legs to you and you drop at the weak of your knees.
No,
I'm
not all men.
joking with you.
There we go. You behave yourself, Becca. We're keeping this show nice today.
He gives the easy options to a man and he'll sweep you up straight away, but you be hard and they'll run a mile. Go on.
Yeah. You behave yourself. Okay, cool. Let me have a sip of water, okay? No more water. No water there. Yes. Okay. So, what was I going to say? Would you say that there's like so much trust issues? I mean, like you mentioned red flags, like, and trust issues. Like, how hard is it for you to open? Like, obviously,
that's another thing, though. And I'm sorry to jump on you, but that is another thing. Me at 32, I've had relationships, clearly, you know, and all them relationships have been bad, whether it's on my side or their side. You know, mental, physical abuse, you know, that brings trauma to them, where your self-doubt, you know, your confidence is knocked. And I've learned this, you know, I'm not afraid to speak the truth, you know. you go to another relationship thinking you're ready, but you're actually not. So the past trauma leads on to the second relationship, and whatever goes on in that goes into a spiral because you haven't fixed yourself from the first relationship. So then the first and the second rolls into the third. Do you understand what I mean?
I totally understand what you're saying, but I think also when women, I'm not talking about you, but I think when women say that, like, it seems to be one bad guy after another bad guy after another bad guy, same sort of
Because
traits.
you're not self-healed.
Is it that, or is it that women sometimes ignore red flags? It's like, for instance, if you go for a particular type of guy, and that guy is, you know, he's a boisterous lad, you know, he's one of the, there's a certain type of guy that girls go for, like the bad guy, not the nice guy.
I still attract them bad guys, but straight away, when them red flags show, you're gone. You've seen me on TikTok. I don't care. I will rinse the back out of you if you've disrespected me.
I've seen you do that. I've seen you do that to a few of your fans, and they're like, "Hang on, Bex, what's going on? I'm your pal."
Because at the end of the day, I'm a straightforward woman. I'm far from perfect, but I will speak facts. And if you have, like I stated, I wear my heart on my sleeve. And if I've opened that door to you, and I've shown you myself, and you then choose to walk all over me and disrespect me, well, I'm sorry, the devil's coming out, and you're gonna see the not so nice side of me.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know?
I think people, obviously you've done really well in your life. Just the brief stories that I've heard from you to get yourself where you are, like mentally sort of sane where you are now, you know, in a good place. Like just hearing your story before, like you'd been through so much, like just from what you told me and stuff. And obviously, like, you know, even when the doctors told you about you wouldn't even be able to have a baby and stuff like that, wouldn't be able to carry one, and the strength that it would have taken to sort of build up. And I think you've obviously, you shut your eyes, or have you gone dead on me?
No, I'm here.
Okay, you disappeared. You threw me off there. I was saying all these lovely things.
I'm listening to you. Is it because I'm not speaking?
No. I don't know what happened. You just went like still. It's like a halo just popped up on your head or something, and you just went. Oh, this is...
No, I'm listening to you.
No. I was just saying. Obviously, you've been through a lot, and obviously, when you go through a lot like that, it does harden you up, unfortunately, and it does make you. Like someone in the chat said, for instance, that maybe you're looking for red flags before the. Steady on, girl. Steady on, girl.
I'm not saying nothing.
I know your face, and I'm just like, I know your face.
I'm not saying nothing.
No. I mean, open perspectives are quite good. So I mean, someone obviously said that it seems like maybe you're looking for red flags before you even start, sort of. But I think that's only natural. It's very easy to say. You know, if someone has been through a lot and had a lot of trauma, been through physical abuse and stuff like that, like bad men after bad men, it's naturally going to harden you up and stuff. But I think what I said to you before was, what you need to do is find yourself a really soft man, a really soft postman or something like that, you know, a really soft man. Like, and what did you?
Through the letterbox myself.
You need a really soft, nice guy. And the sad thing is, there are nice guys out there, but you know, they might be working Monday to Friday and not earning but very much money. They don't have a house and stuff like that. I don't want a man with money. Yeah, I know you said that before, but obviously
I want a man who's mentally stable, who's balanced in his head, who knows what he wants.
Not the rough and ready guy that you wanted last time.
Well, he can be rough and ready, but he can
no. See, a rough and ready man, yeah.
He could be a reinforced rough and ready man.
No. See, women do this all the time. They say they can't find the right man, they can't find a nice man, blah blah blah. But they go for.
I'm not even looking though, darling.
I know. I'm just talking in general. When women say that they want a nice guy, but what they always end up going for, like the you know, the testosterone fueled alpha male type of character, you know, flashy, blah blah blah. The guys that get your attention, the guys that get to take you out on dates, the guys that have the one night stands here and there, and women. Some women fall through that trap, sort of. You know.
I need to watch what I'm saying. Right.
Bad boys.
Thank
Someone
God.
put it like that. Bad boys. The bad boys, basically.
Right, where the red flags are, yeah? Fact, I'm going to give you an incident, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to one guy, right, what do you want? What you're looking for? I'm not wasting my time. I want to know what you are looking for and what your intentions are out of this. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a job interview. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got my little boy to think about. No, I'm not going to introduce my child straight away, but he's my main priority. So if you're acting like a pillock on the streets or in general, I don't want that around me or my child, because you are going to affect my energy inside to where it's going to turn negative and I'm going to feel shit. So anyway, I was talking to this guy. He said everything that a woman wants to hear, right? Straight away, boom, red flags.
What did he do? What was the
What
first
did
one?
he? First one, I love you within a week of knowing me.
That's not a red flag. Men fall in love with the drip of the top of a hat.
Shut up.
No, we do. Honestly, Bex, a man, as long as a woman, men are very simple. I said this before. As long as you're a pretty face to look at,
He
you got the
never
goodies.
knew me. How
see?
can he love me?
Did he see you at least, or?
Once.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe obviously you got to look out for
The guy
creeps.
met me once and he stated that he loved me. And then he turned narcissistic where he went, this is all in like 3 weeks. He went, we were in a routine of speaking and then he went missing. So I ignored it and then it went missing again. And I just said to him, obviously you're going to think, hey, have you got someone else or, you know, what's going on? So I said straight away, have you got a woman, you? Boom. You're accusing me of cheating. You better apologize right now. It's your fault I'm shouting. And I'm like, what? Narcissistic, turning it on me. That is a red flag, a big red flag. And I'm not putting up with that. Try. Bye.
Yeah. Guys doing the disappearing act. The disappearing act is definitely a red flag. Someone in chat put, if a man buys me flowers on the first date, that's a red flag. Come on.
No,
women.
it's not. That's
come
lovely.
on, women. Come on, women. Seriously, come on.
That is lovely. I would love a man to buy me flowers. Other than that, I have to make these freaking artificial ones myself.
Fair enough. Oh, I love them. They're pretty cool. I like them. I do like artificial flowers and plants.
No, I think that is lovely, you know, a man buying a woman flowers on the first date. I really do.
What gets me is the women that say they don't like flowers. Women that say they don't like flowers, so you don't buy them flowers, and then you get into an argument with them. You never buy me flowers.
The women that are so used to a man buying them flowers or treating them nice don't want it. But the women who haven't had that, it's like, oh my God, you know, I would love that. I'm going to use my sister as an example, yeah?
Okay.
God bless her. She has an amazing husband. She's been with her husband since she was 17, 18. She's now 42, yeah? They get on so well. They work so well as a team. They both work. They both established. They've built it together. He'll cook and do the ironing, or she'll do the ironing and cook. They work brilliant as a team, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like, that is how it should be.
So
Why are we talking about relationships?
I know. This went from mental health to relationships, you know. So I was thinking about sidetracking.
But relationships can stem like
everything. Mental health is everything, you know. So like you said, it becomes a condition to look out for, you know. So say like you have loads of bad experiences, and then your brain's naturally going to start protecting you from.
It's trauma.
Yeah, trauma definitely.
And that's what it is, like trauma bonding. if someone isn't in a good place, they're going to trauma bond with someone,
Mhm.
you know, and it's mental health straight away.
Mhm.
It's bad.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And
And
my mental health is like an iceberg, so I've got to protect my energy and myself.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and someone just put mental health, it can just strike in a second. Like literally, you know, everything could be fine. What is quite strange is how powerful the mind is, like what it can do to your body. Like for instance, like when I was going through my bankruptcy and stuff with my company, like there would be times where like I was making loads of money, and then there would be quiet days. And then what would happen on the quiet days would be like my body would naturally start changing. Like I'll start stress. I'd be like, I don't know when you ever do you ever get them pressure headaches in your head where it just feels like your head's on fire? Like it feels like your head's on fire and
I
it's like
were at the emergency doctors on Sunday with one of them. Go on.
it's not funny, we will talk about that. But I'm just saying, like literally, I would notice like if like I was getting quiet, business was getting quiet, and obviously like bills were coming on certain times and you had to pay them, I would notice my body would just change. Like I'd be shaking, like I'd be really short with my dog, like and but the moment and I'd have to say to myself, calm down, calm down, calm down. It's going to be fine. Something's going to come up. Something's going to come up. Calm down. I'd have to literally talk to myself and say to myself, just calm down. Everything's going to be all right. It's going to be fine. You might have a quiet week, but next week something big's coming for you, and that's what I'd have to do. But I'm just saying, it's crazy how you know just how your body picks it up. You mentioned that you had one. Well, obviously, I know you're going through a.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So you've just explained how your body, yeah, is reacting in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you know that? If you get what I mean.
How did I know? How did I know? Just answer it in a different way, 'cause I'm not sure what exactly you're asking.
Like, do you know your body reacting because of stress? How did you acknowledge that?
Well, I think you're kind of forced to by your reactions. Obviously, it makes you do stuff. So, say, like, for instance, like when I'd be getting stressed out, like, you know, when you have a dog, dogs will be walking, and especially, you know, they want to go out. Like, my dog would be like walking around, and on a normal day when I'm making loads of money and everything's going great, I'd go up to him, stroke him, play with him, all the rest of it. But when I was concentrated on making money and I was stressed about making money, like, just him walking past me would trigger me to sort of like just go away, shout at him, snap at him, and then he used to pick up on it. They say dogs are very smart and they can pick up on energy. Like he used to run. My dog would see me, just see my body language, and literally go and run and hide because like you. But that's how I would know because I'll be starting to get snappy, and honestly it feels like it can take over your whole body. Like I know you said you was in the.
So you've understood your triggers, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So the main focus is acknowledging what is going on in your body and your mental state, acknowledging it, and then trying to come together with a coping strategy to handle that situation. Once you've figured that out, then you're on a win path.
And what's crazy is I have to do this sort of manifesting, which we spoke about earlier. I like when I go through these situations, I have to go through this sort of manifesting, sort of like where I'm training my brain to sort of like to think to myself. I'm training my brain to say, you know, don't worry. There's $5,000 coming next week in them situations back then. There's $5,000 coming next week, and I used to actually convince myself that I actually had the $5,000. And then that would start to calm me down. So it's sort of like I sort of manifested that $5,000 for next week that I was going to make, and in my head financially that sort of thing does that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else that does me that gets me like that.
Didn't come? How then was you going to cope with it?
This is the thing about we spoke a little bit about spirituality earlier. Like sometimes if people don't have faith in anything, it's very hard because there's nothing to call on. Like I speak to people all the time and they don't believe in God, they don't believe in anything, they have got there's no higher power above them.
Mine and your brains entwined, I think, because as you said that, I was thinking to myself, well, that's why I went to church and
Hmm.
started going to church.
Oh
Go
yeah,
on, sorry.
I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So someone that doesn't have anything. You're literally you've got the burden of the world on your shoulder, and you've got no one to ask for help, especially a physical person that you don't even feel comfortable speaking to, like a family member. Because sometimes people don't even want to speak to their family members about stuff like that. Everyone wants to portray that everything's going great. No one wants to come out, especially for men. Especially for men, men don't feel they can come out and say, "Oh, I'm really in a bad spot. I'm really fucked. I need some help." Some men just generally, and even with their family, they don't feel like they can go to them and say it. So many times I've heard people say, my someone in my family recently, took their own life, and you're like, this person was, and they find out this person was having some financial stress, some financial worries or problems with their partner and stuff like that, and if they were able to just offload that on someone, or even call on something to say, okay, I'm going through a bad situation, please help me, even asking for help, you know. But I'll go for you.
If I didn't have this one person in my life, I'm not mentioning no names.
Hmm.
If I didn't have this one person in my life, then God knows where I would be.
Hmm.
Because other people, and I'm not mentioning no names, but if they knew what they knew, what I've got going on in my life right now, I will be judged. Like I've been judged all throughout my life, I will be judged, and they will put me in a pit mentally because of the negativity.
Hmm.
So if I didn't, and that's why I jumped on it, because I do fully understand if you have that one person, it can help majorly.
Definitely. You just need someone or something.
Yeah.
Like, you just need, say, everyone needs someone or something to turn to. Like, it's crazy to think that people have got a full family, brothers, cousins, uncles, mums, dads. They're going through some financial issues at the minute, and all it would have taken was, if you explain. Obviously, people don't have. Not everyone's rich or whatever, but if people knew that you were struggling, if people knew that you were struggling, you told them, people naturally come together to help you. Even if it's like someone gives bread, someone gives butter, someone gives electric, people naturally come together to do it. But there's a lot of like pride out there. It's like when you watch those programs where, like, all the, that program, that DIY, you must know that DIY program where they come together and they do like housing refurbishments. They do housing refurbishments for people that have had a bad life, or a daughter that's got disabled, disability, or something like that. So one of the main reasons that is so emotional is because, like, at the end when they finish it and you see the dad crying, all the builders are crying, everything. One of the reasons that's so emotional is because that person's opened up and people relate to it. It's like you could come out and say, I need help on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere like that, whatever. Sometimes you have to be careful, because there is evil people out there that will shit on you the moment they know. The moment if you're having a bad time, they will shit on you, and they will just, and if that can destroy you as well. And that's probably what you were saying, that you have to be careful. Your guard's up. You can't tell everyone. Not everyone wants the best for you, but there
You
are a
can
lot of
pick
people.
your friends, but you can't pick your family.
Yeah, indeed. The family one's a tough one as well, because that's it. People that keep people, we won't go there. I can see by your facial reactions that there's a situationship brewing there. But yeah,
That's not allowed to speak. I'm not
yeah,
allowed to speak. My mouth's
no,
closed.
good. At least, how long did it take to learn that?
Many years.
Fair enough.
But it is hard. Like, a lot of people are dealing with mental health, But then, and I do see this, and I'm going to mention it about TikTok. There's quite a few people on TikTok who are crying about mental health, because they feel a bit down.
Yeah, there is definitely that.
They feel a bit down, or something's not going right. Well, I am sorry, but pick your fucking socks up and crack on with it. Everybody has the down days.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually hit that lowest point, then you'll know what mental health is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's a comparison, none of that.
No.
But I'm saying somebody wakes up and thinks, oh, I'm a bit tired, I feel a bit run down today, and claims they got mental health. No.
It's a fine, there's a very fine line now. I mean, everyone knows exactly, like, I think anyone watching this will know exactly what you're saying. There's people out there that are going to jump on the mental health bandwagon just because it suits them. You know, it's a buzzword at the minute. You know, someone's, you know, they've got like literally they've got a spot on their face or something like that, and they're depressed. And honestly, it's that bad. And you know, they'll jump on TikTok, they jump on social media, and I'm feeling so bad and blah blah blah. But what gets me the most is on social media is that some people, like, they buy into the hype. Like, they could have a massive following on social media, and then they lose their account. And I've literally seen grown people crying and contemplating suicide because they've lost their accounts. Like, you know, and it's like they were comfortable living a lie. Like, they were comfortable living a lie. So the portrayal of them having this massive following, oh, they're a celebrity or whatever. When that goes, when the social medias take their social media away, their social media like regulators take it away from them, they're like, what do I do now? I've got nothing. I've been hiding behind this social media for so long now. This was validating my life. This social media thing validated my life. And I think it's got to a dangerous point now where people are literally, I'm going to be honest, they're spending way too much time on social media, you know, especially these apps and stuff, you know, and you can literally have a life. It's good and it's bad, because I know people that have got no friends, no confidence, no nothing. But the moment they jump on TikTok, they've got all these people coming in, and that validates that stimulates their brain and makes them happy. You know, they feel like they've got these friends or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, it's really good to interact with it, but I think it's just when you start living like making it like a virtual reality almost, you know, sort of hiding.
It's not about comparison and none of that, you know, but when I see it, and I'm going to be honest with you, it angers me and it upsets me, because like I've stated in the past, I can only advise or give advice if I've only been through it myself. And when people are claiming mental health over feeling a bit down, I feel like screaming and telling them, listen, try having your rights as a human being took off you under the Mental Health Capacity Act, where you cannot pay your bills, never mind buy a pair of trainers or go on holiday on your own, where you have to go to rehabilitation, where you have to fight through fucking rings and fire, and just to be able to live a somewhat of a normal life. Yeah, try doing all that for God knows how many years, then tell me.
And honest to God,
angers me, and I'm sorry, Brudsy, but it angers me. I nearly had to give up my child. Yeah, I nearly had to abort my child. If I listened to that team of 9 who were involved, I wouldn't have my child today. And God watching over me, something told me inside, no, stand me ground and stand up for my rights. And I did. And I were blessed with a boy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it angers me, absolutely angers me when I see people doing that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the new generation of kids and these youngsters growing up stuck on their phone, addicted to their phones, they're going to be faced with some serious issues, because most of them don't even know about stress, like what you're saying. Like, they don't even know about real stress. But obviously, you know, there's a threshold. Everyone has a different threshold. You know, some person could just be at step 1 and they're ready to jump. Whereas people that have been through real life situations, real heartache, real sort of, you know, real conditions, then, you know, it might take us to get to level 7 before we jump. You know, but I think there's a fine line between it. But I know exactly what you mean. Nowadays, there's a big buzzword. Like, you know, some people just want a month off work, full pay. I'm struggling with mental health, don't want to come in. And I've seen it, I've seen that happen loads of times. People do it all the time, it's become a buzzword, if you say mental health, then you're good. If you say mental health, I've seen people use it to get things from the council, get things from everywhere, my house is a mess, there's blah blah blah, I need this done, and they'll claim the Mental Health Act, and they'll claim that it's affecting their mental health, and they'll get it,
I would, so going back to that headache, I have a lot on, and I am stressed out of my head with it all, to the point where on Sunday my mother rang me to see if I were all right, and I burst into tears. I could not handle the pain in my head no more. I felt like I was getting whacked over my head with a baseball bat. My eyes were hurting, everything. And she's literally come down and rang 111. Like, what do I do? I ended up in the emergency centre. And then they sent me home. Literally today is the first day I felt okay. I had all pins and needles in the front of my head. But even still, I've been on the lower, applying for jobs and stuff like that. But because of what's up with me, it's preventing me doing certain things. I'm still trying to fight it.
Yeah.
I wish I never had this.
Yeah.
And that's why it angers me so much, because when I had some, and I'm sorry to swear, but I had some dickhead come on my TikTok the other day. Oh, you use your brain injury as an excuse. You always bring it up. You ain't got a brain injury no more. You've got your son back. I never had my child took off me. It was the neuropsychologist, the psychiatrist, the specialist, the head injury rehabilitation people who stated, and the top barristers stated, I wasn't mentally fit enough under the Mental Health Acts, right, of maintaining a somewhat of a normal life. I wasn't mentally capable of looking after a child. It was them. Yeah, it was them who told me to abort my child or give him up for adoption. And I stood my ground and said, no, I laid down and made him. I'm having him. And the socials still tried taking him off me. But I fought tooth and nail to keep my child. So it angers me. Angers me. And I'm sorry, brother. But very touchy subject.
I hear that, and what's very annoying is about all these people, these people that apparently know everything what's going on in the world, sort of thing. They can say, oh, this person's not right, they haven't got capacity, all the rest of it. I've worked in these fields and I've seen some of these people. It's a horror show. It's an absolute horror show. Most of these people have no life experiences. They're literally just coming off the textbook, or they've watched some TV and stuff like that. They're literally coming off textbook. Until you've actually lived the situation, you can actually relate with it and, and understand it, empathize with it. And that then actually, like, hands-on advice is always going to be better. Like, say, like, for instance, you were an alcoholic or something like that. Like, you'd be better off speaking to someone that had been an alcoholic and recovered, rather than speaking to this shrink to come in and tell you blah 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 blah.
And that's what I did. I'm sorry to butt in, but that is what I did. Like, my solicitor, who I'm a case manager, they are very, very good friends of mine now. Because I stood my ground. You have read it, all this, what you're saying, for a textbook. My solicitor were younger than me. I've had more years experience dealing with this. I got chucked into intense rehabilitation for 6 months. Mental health major in there. And you're trying to read it from a textbook and tell me left to right, right to left. No. Step in my shoes for a day, then you'll understand.
Definitely. That's why it's experience. You can't buy experience. You know, you just can't buy that experience. You know, honestly, I've worked in the healthcare sector and I've seen some of these so-called professionals, and they're giving advice and they're putting restrictions out. I can't speak too much about it, but they're putting restrictions out on people's lives, and it's like, why are you doing that for? Oh, because da 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 da. 9 times out of 10 is they don't want. They're very lazy. So if the notes from last year said this, there's normally a pattern for the last 5 years. Nothing's changed, basically, you know. So there's some shockers out there, you know. There's some
They've
really
got
bad.
too used to handing out medication as well, and I'm going to say
Well,
straight up fact. They wanted me to go on antipsychotics at 21 years old. I'm sorry, my accident was when I was 11. 10 years later, you want me to go on antipsychotics when I've managed this myself for so long? You know, I tried them, I'm not going to lie, for a month. I came straight off them shit. Like, how I see it is, when you're taking medication, yes, it might balance you out for a few weeks or a few months, but you are getting your body used to something that shouldn't even be in your body. Because when you come off the medication, you're going to have side effects, and you're going to have to deal with whatever you were dealing with at the start.
With the side effects that you never had before.
Exactly. Exactly. If you've got mental health, and I've learned it myself, the best thing is, and I know it's hard when you are feeling so shit in yourself, where you don't want to get up, you don't want to get dressed, you don't want to eat. I have witnessed all that. The best thing is to fight it 100%. And take the first step and go out for a walk. Definitely. The next step, sign up to a gym. I know people are going to be anxious and, oh, they're looking at me. Look at them with the perfect body. Look at them lifting the weights and the big bum, the flat tummy, the rare-ta-ta-ta-ta. But boy, you'll look like that in 2-3 months' time if you bypass that stage and just carry on. Definitely. And it's like, for me, for instance, like I couldn't, like, the walking, when I was going through what I was going through, the walking did help. I would have to say, right, I'm going for a walk, get some fresh air. That did help, and that would help me sort of get nothing like fresh air and the sun, like just feeling that sun on your edge, you know, and just some fresh air. That does like wonders for you, you know, sometimes, you know, just getting that fresh air. But yeah, literally. But for me, I wasn't able to work out when I was going through what I was going through, like with my mental health. Like, I wasn't able to do it. You couldn't convince me for love nor money to go do a press up. I wasn't in that mood. I couldn't do it. Nothing at all. Like, I could go for a walk. That'd be about it. Maybe a run now and then. That would do it. But it's because you're in that dark bubble, though, isn't it?
Indeed.
And you've got so much weight on your shoulders that you can't escape out of it.
Wow.
But you need to push yourself.
Good. Oh, sorry to hear that. So your daughter was 19 when they tried to give her antidepressants. So, yeah, this is the thing that's crazy. They're willing to give antidepressants out to anyone now. Like, even I know girls as young as 18 that I've got them, you know. And
well, it's like I said to you, innit, in the other interviews. You know, when I was 11, the accident happened. They were trying to, God, I can name them all: Prozac, sertraline, you know, the whole shebang they try putting me on, saying that I'm depressed, that I've got Ritalin, ADHD. They tried saying that until boom, 16, I got diagnosed with severe brain injury.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
They are willing to put you on anything. But when you try and seek help, and I'll say that from my experience, you get put in touch with Healthy Minds or Minds Matters or what have you, and you'll have a 3 to 6 month period to wait till you see somebody. In that 3 to 6 month period, that could be too late. You know, there needs to be more out there for mental health and outreach and everything like that.
Definitely. I think discussions are very good, like open discussions, like where people could, because I think a lot of people, they were going through, because what happens with these doctors and everything like that is you phone them up and you tell them something and they write it down in their notes. Everything's based on their notes. Da 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 da. They're not even really looking at you. They're not even really. Sometimes these doctors, they're handing out psychotic drugs to people over the, like, basically on telephone interviews. Like, you know, oh wait a minute, so they got a checklist. Yep, definitely. She needs antipsychotic drugs. Let's give them to her. You know, this is how bad it's got at the minute. But we won't go too much onto that because I very much, unfortunately, in this day and age, the powers that be, these social media monitors, they will literally cut you in half if they feel that you're not going ahead. And this is the sad thing. They will literally just boot you off a platform if you're not saying the right things. And I think we've got to a very dangerous place where social media will boot you off a platform if you say the wrong thing. That is just crazy for me. Like, I've been given a couple of warnings already. So
well, I must say it. They were trying to issue me codeine on Sunday, and I'm not allowed codeine because I start hallucinating off them. They get me absolutely high out my head, because I don't take tablets, and I'm not allowed codeine because it messes with my mental state.
And they didn't have that in the notes, no?
No, they didn't.
That's insane. So you're on the record. You've been on the record since you was 11 years old, and the doctors are willing to give you a drug that they know you're not. If they would have just looked a little bit, done a little bit of research, they would have seen, wait a minute, she can't have this drug because she's got a history of this drug. This is how bad the system is at the minute. You know, that's just crazy, if you ask me. And these are the kind of people that are prescribing all these drugs for people, you know, over the phone, basically. You know, like in support worker homes and stuff like that, where they deal with vulnerable people that obviously don't have capacity and they're making all the decisions for them. These people are getting treated by doctors that have never met them. Like, I've seen doctors come in, it's like, ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, it's definitely this. I'm like, you've never spent one hour with this person and you are willing to give them antipsychotic drugs. That's insane.
It's like the rehabilitation that I went to. Now, they wanted me to go as an inpatient for 6 months, and I point blank refused because I had my child. I went as an outpatient for 3 times a week. Now, I don't know whether it's the same as me, but, you know, I seen some things in there, you know. One man was a rugby player. He got tackled, banged his head on the floor. Now he's got locked-in syndrome. I don't know whether you know what locked-in syndrome is, but it's you now, Brudsy, yeah?
Okay.
Right? But you can't move.
Wow.
You can't talk. You can't walk. You can't move your hands. You can't do nothing. You basically sat there like that, locked in your own body, but your mind's ticking, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there were another lady, God bless her, I ended up being a mentor. She were in a car with her parents and her brother. Sadly, they were in a really bad car crash, and she lost her parents and her brother. And she was perfectly fine until she had the car accident, and then she was wheelchair bound, dribbling, severely disabled. And I think in some subjects, like, they'll give you these medication to shut you up.
Yeah.
Because of the chemical imbalance in your brain. Obviously, what I learned in the brain injury place is, like, when you damage your brain, and I don't know whether mental health is, well, it must be because I have it, but it's like, do you know when you like your house is broken and you get scaffolding and you build the scaffolding up, and you have to figure a way out to fix it another way. So when you've got a brain injury, that's what happens. So because your brain functions your whole body, yeah, when you damage something in your brain, it takes twice as long to get to that signal. So it's a chemical imbalance. So I'm guessing with mental health, things shut off in your brain, and it's a chemical imbalance. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I like to keep it very layman's terms. It's very like, you know, if you've got damage to your brain, then obviously it's going to affect certain things. You know, I don't think.
But then I think when there's that chemical imbalance and you're reacting a different manner to what you would do usually, and say you go to the doctors and you're trying to talk about this, and sometimes they'll chuck you on a nutter's ward.
Yeah, but that's just like doctors in general. Most of the time, it's like when you have kids, about give it 5 or 6 years, you're basically a medical professional because you've been to the doctor so many times. Like, and it's like when you see someone else, they're like, I'm taking my child to the doctors because of this, that. I'm like, it's just a flu. All they're going to say to you is the same thing they say to you is give him plenty of water, plenty of fluid, plenty of Calpol. That is the textbook sort of speech that you're going to get. Like, you know, has it been over 2 weeks? No, come back in 2 weeks' time and then we'll see how it goes. Like, I think I could be a doctor for a day, just literally, oh, okay, yeah, okay, come back in 2 weeks' time and we'll see how it goes. You know, literally, that's what they do all day, every day, unless someone literally comes in and they're really assertive of what they want and what done. But Becca, we're going to relax it now. You've been a very fabulous guest. Come on, awusa it down. We're going to come down. We're going to relax and talk about the church, for instance. How's the church going for you now? Like you mentioned.
Can I get a cigarette, Rudson?
You can get a cigarette, I believe. Guys, we did have a very big panel pack for today, but unfortunately, life things pop up. But I think we've put a lovely little show together for you in very short notice. I think I gave the poor Rebecca about 40 minutes to get ready for this. Any questions?
40 minutes. She gave me half an hour.
Oh, she was listening, guys. So
I've got good hearing, you know.
Oh, fair enough. The church, Bex. The church. What's going on with the church?
Right. That again, mental health. That was when I broke and I had to move away, and I felt like I needed guidance. A bit of structure. So I went to church. I got baptized 2 weeks ago. You know, I enjoy it.
What sort of feeling do you get? I don't know if you pray or not. Do they make you? Have you started praying yet at all, or just?
I do pray, but you know what? And it's mad, you know, because last week when I went, no, the week before, I didn't go last week. I weren't feeling too good, but the week before, yeah, I went in, and I'm not joking, y'all. The way they sing, the way the room lights up, I started crying. I'm gonna be honest, I started crying. Something touched me inside, and it's a weird feeling. And I started crying, you know. I enjoy it. When I went to church, I thought, you know, it were a traveller lady. It was mad how I met her, to be honest with you. I was selling some tables when I moved over here, and she was buying them off me. And she's the pastor's wife. And she said, oh, why don't you come? So I did. And I've not stopped going since then. It's an amazing feeling. It's like a big family.
That's nice.
What it's like.
And have you noticed when you start to pray and stuff that you feel like something take over your body? It's very weird. It's like when you say, literally, if you say a prayer, or if you're genuinely praying for your life, and you're generally praying like to say, you know, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for my son, thank you for my life, thank you for giving me health today. When you start doing that, you'll feel like a sort of, I don't know if you'll feel it, but most people do feel like a sort of, you know, it's like a weird sort of very spiritual feeling rushing through your body, you know, when you say a prayer.
Oh shit, yeah. I need to put you somewhere. I don't like smoking.
Don't worry, we're nearly at the end, guys. We're nearly at the end. Thank you everyone hanging in. We're just having a downtime, chill chat.
That all goes on to you saying manifesting.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to manifest. You've got to believe, because if you think negative, you're going to attract negative. Yeah. You think positive, you're going to attract positive. You've got to believe. And when you believe, it'll turn into actions, I think.
Definitely. And
Tell me
if
if
you,
I'm wrong, but
yeah, no, it's 100%. The people that don't believe, those are the people that tend to sort of, go the full way, end up hurting themselves or doing it. Like if you just imagine, that's what I said, for people that don't have any spirituality, don't have any faith or anything like that, when they go through a hard time, if they don't have someone to speak to, they've got no one. They are alone in a dark place. They've got no one. So that's obviously a very bad place to be. So any sort of faith, any sort of spirituality where you can sort of just harness the power of the life and just like manifesting from yourself, and because we don't have full capability of our brains and the power that our brains can do, what our mind and what our bodies can do. It's crazy. Some of the things that I have manifested and things that have happened are insane. Like I couldn't even talk about it. Like it's insane. But that's just being positive, putting positive vibes out into the universe. Positive vibes will come back to you, and having faith sometimes it won't. Sometimes it doesn't always work, and you still got to be thankful for what you got. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've said I've asked for stuff and I've not got it, but I have asked for stuff and I have got it. And it's crazy. I've asked for stuff in small fine detail, like crazy things in small fine detail, and I've been given it. Like it's insane.
don't think if you're going to sit there and say, please, Lord God, will you give me £1 million? The £1 million going to be there, because it's not.
No.
Facts, some people will think, yeah, Lord, please just give me £1 million, and boom, it's not going to be there.
No.
Face facts, it's not going to be there.
No.
You've got to have belief, so you've got to believe, and you've got to manifest, and you've got to be positive. Even with mental health, things might not look like things are going to plan, but if you're manifesting positivity and start speaking positive to yourself, what the affirmations, say affirmations in the mirror in the mornings, to yourself. And I started doing that.
Yeah.
And it works.
It definitely works. If you wake up first thing in the morning, and even if you're not a religious person, and you just say thank you, I challenge anyone that's not religious or to do this. If you're not a religious person and the first thing you do when you wake up and you see that your children are alive, you're alive, you've got health, and you shut your eyes and you say thank you for these blessings for today, you will feel something take over your body. I promise you. Anyone, if you shut your eyes and say thank you for the things that you have, something will take over your body, and it will be like you can't explain it. And it will feel so good, and it's almost like you've done a workout. Like the happy endorphins start rushing to your body and stuff like that, and just it's a crazy experience, which I challenge everyone to try. But
it's not going to happen overnight.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. You might not.
You'll have that wealth of feeling, and it might go.
Yeah, it does go.
And you might feel back to feeling rubbish or what have you. But if you carry on taking baby steps and progressing and doing it all the time, you will then slowly but surely believe that every day, and watch how your mindset and your lifestyle changes after that.
Definitely. Okay, Bex, it's been fabulous having you.
An hour and 15 minutes.
I know. With 30 minutes notice as well, guys. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. It was fabulous having everyone on. Becca, lovely having you on, always having you on. You always come in and you're always open. You always give 100% and you're always open there, Everybody, thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone. And this will be a regular thing on Wednesdays, guys. Wednesday nights, it will be a mental health. People can come in, share their stories, open chat. You might not even want to say anything. You might just want to come in and listen, and you might relate to situations and find out how other people are dealing with situations, and it might help you in your life. You never know. But guys, everyone, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, have a lovely night. Peace. Bum, 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 bum. Let me play my